Hello and welcome to the channel. South Africa is not happy again over the GNU. This time it's because the DA Minister of Home Affairs rose up and announced that Ukraine is now going to be visa-free. But this was before knowing that the ANC is actually in on it after the Minister of International Relations, Ronald Lamola, had a session with the Ukraine counterpart. Let's look at what is in this agreement. Yep, South Africa felt betrayed and annoyed. All sorts of emotions ran through people and also other Africans after this Ukraine visa free where they felt betrayed. Actually, this is because of the alignment South Africa has with Russia. And now when there was something that involved Ukraine, DA jumped up to take it as a victory. Now the DA minister announced on Twitter, mind you, this was on Sunday, he said, "In my capacity as Minister of Home Affairs representing the Republic of South Africa, I have signed a historic agreement granting visa-free access to our country for Ukraine holders of diplomatic, official, and service passport and vice versa." You see right there, that is a power trip. He went on a power trip, and the reason for this was the word Ukraine, because South Africa had recently just announced alignment with Russia and they were not happy. So when they saw that actually there's something in it for us with Ukraine, they jumped up for it. Well, it turns out that actually the minister already had the Minister of International Relations, which is the new minister, Ronald Lamola, who is taking over from Naledi Pandor, right? Yes, he had a meeting with the Ukraine counterparts just to talk about what was already in the making ever since 2020. So this was the signal, they say, of South Africa's commitment to growing diplomatic relations with Ukraine. Yeah, which was a twist. It was, because people were of the idea that alliance with Russia means that Ukraine is out of the window. But South Africa went on to say, no, we are still committed to peace talks with Ukraine, and this visa will allow South African counterparts to travel, officials that is, to travel to Ukraine for any peace talks. Okay, let's get further into this. Correct me if I am wrong, but if you go to the website of the International Relations and Incorporation here in South Africa, you will see that there already exists a list of diplomatic and official passport holders. So what this is just a sort of a visa that is only granted to foreign officials and statesmen. So it is not an open border, open gate for all Ukrainians, right? That's the first part. And the second part is that there are other African countries that have this diplomatic visa free granted to them. We have Nigeria in there, Zimbabwe is in there, Botswana, Uganda. It's just that with Ukraine, they didn't have it as a visa free. There were requirements that they still had to meet, whereas Russia was already granted this visa free, right? Now let's get another issue out, is that when we say passport and visa, they are not the same thing. For you to travel between countries, the first document you need is your passport that is issued by your country, right, to identify you around the world. Not just in South Africa, it's not just for South Africa, it's around the world. The second part is the visa. Now, the visa is a stamp on top of your passport. Even sometimes it can be a document, depending, right? It gives you certain requirements, like certain access, whether it's 30 days or or a year, depending on the type of visa that it is. Even when they say visa free still has a limited number of days that you can travel without having to apply for a visa, but you still need your passport. Guys, why is South Africa a villain here? Please help me understand. Okay, yeah, there is that argument that why don't we just document all Africans that are in South Africa? But that's another video. We'll talk about all the money that is being used by Home Affairs to deport in another video. Please look out for that. Let's get back to this Ukraine hot topic. Already by Sunday, there was a back and forth between the Minister of Home Affairs and also the presidency, which is the spokesperson, who was just declaring and clearing out that, look here, you have no place to announce this. The president cannot just assign anything at your command. But I think it was just a win for the DA because they had been sidelined from the whole communication, and because the talk started before there was a GNU, so they were just continuing with what they had started. But this was a tick for DA, and they were not going to leave it. They went on to release a statement, which I will add also on this video at the end, where he outlines the excitement or his grounds for welcoming this announcement. Well, let's just get one thing straight. Even though people are shouting and screaming, saying the ANC has sold out South Africa, South Africa is letting in white people and at the same time removing fellow Africans out of South Africa. That is definitely not true. That is not what is happening here. When people hear visa, they just think, oh, open borders. No, that is not what's happening here. We're going to look at what exactly this visa-free access is and how it affects both countries. Great. As you know, South Africa attempted to hold peace talks with Ukraine, and they were met with so much resistance. The security around the president was reduced, and they were actually just almost held hostage in one of the European countries. I don't know if it was because at that time it was just there were a lot of flight restrictions in the area, as it was a bit of a war zone, or was it just that they looked down on African states that were trying to intervene in the issue of the war between Russia and Ukraine? So with this diplomacy or diplomatic visa, South Africa can land straight into Ukraine and continue with their peace talks. Because of the infancy of the GNU, just in South Africa alone, now that it involves international relations, there is a lot of back and forth that will definitely happen. We see Ramaphosa still going after Israel, and now when Ukraine came up, it was going to spark some controversy, obviously. But there are a lot of sentiments. Check it out on your social media and newspapers. There are official statements, even by the EFF. They say that the DA Minister of Home Affairs signed an agreement granting visa-free access to Ukraine holders of diplomatic, official, and service passports. They claim that it is only white supremacist arrogance that would sign a political agreement with a state that is involved. They went on, but the truth is, I doubt that it is an officially signed. It will be signed, but at the time, I think DA was just trying to get a rise out of the ANC because they were not going to do it all by themselves. Some more sentiments around this issue. I'll put the comments here on screen. Please check them out. But many people were just alarmed, saying that we don't want Ukrainians here. Let them go to America. We have Zimbabweans and other countries here already. So They were just saying, no, this is an invasion of South Africa. You know, all things went, people are just really, really worked up. What are your thoughts on this matter? And please let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you have watched until this far. And thank you for watching. See you on the next video.